I don't know if you guys remember Legend of the Seeker from 2009 to 2010, I think. It was a wonderful series that was canceled too soon, sadly. And it was based on a series of books by Terry Goodkind. Terry Goodkind did a really interesting job of creating a really fascinating world with unique styles of magic and people. And I really loved that about his books and about the show. And what I loved about the show is it kind of like pared down some of the depth and breadth of what Terry Goodkind did and kind of turned it into like the fairy tale version, I guess, like the Disney version versus the Grimm's version, if you want to think about it that way. So it's a little happier, but it's still grounded in this world that's really fascinating. And one of the things that I found the most fascinating is the contrast between these two races of women. Both exceptionally powerful. One is created and the other one is born. So inherent magic versus imbued magic. And Richard in season 1, episode 8, called Denna, runs into both of them. And it's fascinating. So really quickly, Richard is a man who is prophesied for thousands of years, or 8,000 years, to come and get rid of Dark and Rahl, the big bad. And he has a magical sword, the Sword of Truth, that helps him determine truth and also fight with the weight and anger of, like, righteous anger of all of the other seekers who came before him. So he's stronger in battle and stuff like that. He also has this inherent understanding of what's true. It's very interesting. Like, the books explain it a little bit more. The show doesn't, but it's really fun. So anyway, Richard, the Seeker, is traveling with Kaylin, who is a confessor, one of the women that I'm going to talk about, and Zed, a wizard. Kaylin becomes obsessed with this idea of potentially betraying or destroying Richard. And so in this episode, she decides to leave and find another confessor to come and protect him. In her absence, Richard is taken by the Mor'd Sith, Denna, which is another... Oh, it is such a good stretch. What are we doing? What are we doing? There's a table here. Please don't step down. I love you. I love you. Yeah. I'm filming a video. We don't care, do we? No, we don't. Okay. So, he is taken by a Mor'd Sith. How is he taken by a Mor'd Sith? Well, a Mor'd Sith takes any magic that is pointed at them and turns it against them. So it turns it back on the caster. So rather than Richard being able to use the power and the anger of all of the seekers before him with his sword, they are all forced back on him. So, and he succumbs and is taken. So a little background, briefly, on these two races of women. The confessors are what Kaylin is. They dress in white. They are basically, they're born with this inherent power, mother to daughter, and it is a power that they have to keep in at all times. So their power is they're able to basically see what's true around them. They can tell whether someone's lying, blah, blah, blah. But the other piece of this is they also can overwhelm someone's will and force them to tell the truth and basically become their slaves with a touch. The way this is portrayed in the show is Kaylin will reach out, she will touch someone's throat in the middle of battle or whatever, and there's a time slows down. We see a shot of her very blue eyes and then the shot of the person, and we go back to her eyes and her eyes are clouded over in black, and then the other person's eyes are covered in black, and then she drops to the ground exhausted from the magic, and he gets up and he defends her. Now, the way that this works is when someone's confessed, their will is completely taken over by the confessor, and they basically become enslaved and absolutely adoring of whatever the confessor is until the confessor dies, and then the person's released, and etc. Now, what's fascinating is Kaylin doesn't use her powers unless she absolutely has to in order to fulfill their mission of killing Lord Raw or protecting Richard. So she, but the other piece that she hasn't told Richard yet, by the way, is that if she and Richard, who by the way are falling in love, ever become intimate, her power will be unleashed, and it will take over his soul, and he will be confessed, and he will be her slave, which means that he won't be able to use his powers properly. It will be under her control, not the Seeker's. So she knows this is a terrible plan, has not told Richard, and Richard is just like, but I love you. And she's like, well, I'm leaving. Peace out. So that's why she leaves. That's who confessors are. Fun fact, confessors, when they touch a Mor'd Sith, who I'm going to talk about next, cannot be read by a confessor unless a confessor confesses them and actually takes over their will, but then that kills them. So that's an interesting twist. That kills the Mor'd Sith. Now, the Mor'd Sith are created, they are not born. They're taken as little girls to be tortured with pain and dark magic that binds them to the magic of the Lord Raw, the bloodline of magic within Lord Raw. They are given to Agiles, or an Agile, to train other people in their ways. So the Agiles they're basically a stick. If you've ever seen anyone use like a sai or something like that, it's a similar weapons technique, or like bladed knives or something like that. Anyway, so these Agiles are hard to use because they're extremely painful to the wielder as well as the person who's being hit. And it just basically creates a lot of pain. And in the training process is what they call it, to take over someone's will, they are torturing someone into the point where part of the dark magic is the Agile binds the souls of the person wielding and the person receiving the Agile's magic. So Denna, when she's the Mor'd Sith, she takes Richard to be trained. Now, again, like the confessor, as soon as he's tortured into full training, he'll do whatever she wants. He has no will left. She's basically overtaken his soul, and he loves her. And that's kind of the way this goes. Now, as they're going through this process, Richard talks, well, we'll get to that. Maybe we'll do another video on that. Kaylin comes in to rescue Richard, and she talks to him, and she's like, you are better than you can withstand this. I believe in you. And he said, no, I want you to confess me because I'd rather be your slave than hers, because look at all the things that she can make me do, and I'm the Seeker. We can't let me do that. So confess me. And Kaylin, of course, refuses, and she's like, you can withstand this. So in the next scene, Denna, the Mor'd Sith, is quite certain that she has gotten Richard exactly where she wants him. He's going to complete his training, which means he's going to kill Kaylin now. In this moment, it's really interesting because you have a woman who has literally invaded Richard's soul to the point where he had asked her right before Kaylin showed up not to torture him anymore because he didn't want to be a cause of pain to her. That's how much he actually loves her through this training. You have her who's invaded him, and you have Kaylin who has gained his respect and trust and love. And both of them are basically on equal plane at this point, with Richard being as broken as he is. and he takes the knife and he's about to kill Kaylin with it. But there's a moment as they're looking at each other where Kaylin is very clearly communicating all of her will and all of her soul and all of her love and all of her knowledge of Richard to Richard, and is like, you can do this. And she is 100% with him. She's not fighting. She is simply loving him, basically. And in that moment, the showrunners, whoever the director, did such a great job, because they do the same back and forth scene work with Kaylin and Richard's eyes. Now, the eyes don't cloud over. She doesn't technically confess him, but it is a point of confession where the truth of this, and he is the legend, he is the seeker of truth, and she's a confessor. Both of their magics are based in truth, and the truth is, no matter what is going on, they love each other. They are for each other. And in this moment, she reminds him of that, and he remembers that, and it is a point of confession for them where they have aligned so fully, their spirits have so fully aligned in love for each other, and in the truth that they love each other, and in the truth of their identity, that it overwhelms the invasion of Denna's spirit, and Richard is able to break out of the training and ultimately kill Denna. And I just love that so much. It's so cool because it's the essence of love. Love, as we've talked about in other things, is like you with another person, you're just doing your thing, but you enhance each other and you move forward with each other in your full identity, and you're not lessening anybody in this. You are getting bigger together as you're pursuing your thing. And that is what the scene did. And it's incredible because this single scene and this single episode, and I can do another one about Denna and Richard as well, but this scene, this episode is the foundation for why the entire second season works, and why they are successful. And it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And they actually gave it the moment and that they needed in order to create a foundation for the entire second season. We're halfway through the first season, folks. Like, they really thought through the assignment, and I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them, and it's amazing. But it ultimately, it comes down to the idea that love and truth live hand in hand, and it is a powerful magic that can completely change the world. And I love it. Go check it out. It's amazing. It's worth your time. It's people running through the forest with weapons and dresses and leather, and it's fabulous. So I will see you next time. Let me know what you think, and we'll meet next time.